So today we're going to be talking about how parents can help their kid regardless of their skill level or their experience, because I know there's a ton of parents out there that would absolutely love to participate and help their kid get better at a sport. And obviously the more experience you have, the more knowledge you have, you can kind of bring them to a certain level. But the best thing that a parent can do is get a kid into really good habits. And something that we often don't really stress enough with kids is the more you do something, the better you get. And as an adult, you kind of realize that if you've ever started your own business, you almost have to become obsessive in order for it to be successful. And so you should take that mindset into anything that they want to be really good at, whether that's, reading or math or a sport, basketball, you name it. They almost have to become obsessed with it to a point where you have to kind of pull them away so that they could get a little bit more balance and they don't burn out. Now, the first thing that I would do is come up with some kind of a schedule. Each kid typically goes to school Monday through Friday, and you pick them up at about 3 o'clock. And so typically what I would do is after they get picked up, they have a little bit of a snack, and then they go out and for like an hour and a half, they do the sport that they're trying to improve upon. That would bring them to about 5 o'clock or so, and then they could go hang out with their friends for an hour and a half before they have to eat dinner, and then they do their homework and then get to play a little bit of video games and go to bed. And in that regard, you can see that they're kind of getting a little bit of everything each day, and that would prevent them from really burning out. I see a lot of parents that they go a little too overboard with any particular thing, whether that's video games or school or sports, and the kid eventually tunes them out and burns out and doesn't want to do it anymore. Trying to find this little balance where you don't overdo it, but you do it enough where each day they're getting some kind of skill, or they're sharpening up their abilities to become better at that craft or that sport. Shooting on the cage, that could be push-ups, it could be, doing ladder training. There's so many different ways that you can improve your son in a way that would then translate into success, whether that's that athleticism that they're looking for, or just sharpening up their stick skills. Maybe that's having a catch or shooting on the run or something along those lines, and coming up with a good schedule to keep kids consistent. The number 2 thing that you should really be doing as a parent is researching. Just because your son or your daughter is in a sport or doing something doesn't mean that you should stop learning either. There's tons of drills online that you should be researching and ways that you can improve. I played lacrosse, and there was a lot of deficiencies that I had, which was more specifically footwork, not doing enough training, not having the ability to change directions as fast and as good as I wanted. So I researched a lot after my playing career. How do you improve footwork? How do you improve stick protection? And I took a look at a handful of different professional athletes that are very willing to share their knowledge on platforms, social media platforms, and you pick up tips and tricks that you can then implement and help your son or your daughter execute in the backyard. Now, obviously, every parent hits a certain point where it's past their ability, and at that point, you should then kind of start thinking about whether you want to hire a professional or a trainer to bring your kid to that next level. So those are a couple of things that you should be thinking about. I don't want to be too long-winded or anything, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I know I did that last video and I got a good reception on that. So, all right, I'll check you on the next one.